Hello, students, and welcome to the spring term of 2013. I want to welcome all of my new students and welcome back all of my returning students. I have opened this video onto the Cal State Teach Live Binder page that I have created for the students in my class, and you should all have received a link to this page, but I wanted to make this video recording as well because sometimes I find that having my tell you is with the written word is a little more effective than my asking you to just read along what the syllabus has to say. So I wanted to just quickly go through the syllabus so that you would know what the expectations are and to remind my returning students because sometimes you get involved in the throes of school and you forget. So I'm going to have approximately 20 students. And it's important that we maintain all of our correspondences through the calstateteach.net website and that you do follow the pacing guide. I cannot impress upon you enough the importance of looking at that guide and meeting those Friday deadlines. My date is Friday, not Saturday, not Sunday. If you do not talk to me ahead of time regarding an extension on your work, then you automatically go into the 1 week grace period where by Friday of the following week, if your work is not in, it will no longer be accepted, and because your work is late, it is automatically going to be graded down by 1 full grade. This is very important because as an online course, you get backed up, I get backed up, and neither of us can support one another the way we want to in order for you to be successful in this program. Make sure that if you are going to, something gets in the way, some life situation gets in the way, parent conferences, report cards, back to school night, open house, the flu, having a baby, whatever that happens to be, you need to contact me in advance, not the day that things are due, unless it's a real, truly emergency, like you got in a car accident or something. But you need to let me know ahead of time, and you and I will negotiate a new due date. Be sure that you have a due date in mind before you make that call to me or contact me. I want to really quickly emphasize, I might say call, don't call me on the telephone. Text me, email me, send me a smoke signal, do all those things technologically, even send me a text to tell me to call you. The thing is, if you call me and leave a message, that message may sit on my voicemail for upwards into 2 weeks because I do not check voicemail regularly. But if you text me or email me or do something else in order to get in touch with me other than voice, I will get back to you quite rapidly. I'm very good at that. I'm not good at voice, so I caution you not to leave me a lot of voicemails because that's not going to save your life if you need to get in touch with me. Um, there are, for new students, depending on if you're in term 1 or term 1A, there's lesson planning assistance that you are going to be going through. You're going to do all of your work in the My Work section of the website, and I would really like to ask you to upload your work into the My Work section regularly. Don't wait until Friday to put it all in there. I don't like to receive work all at one time because I can't give you the feedback that you need as you progress through the modules. So I'm asking you to please make sure that you upload, as you work in the My Work section, I automatically have access to anything that you've written. For the lesson planning, make sure that you upload your lesson plan into the activity that it is related to. Please make sure that you also do the same thing for your discussion forums because discussion forums are on one side of the website. And if you do not link them into the activity, then it is absent, although you wrote it over on one side of the website. You need to link your discussion forums into the activity in the modules in the work section. Make sure that you use spell check and grammar check. This is a graduate level program, and your writing needs to reflect that. And one thing I really want to make sure that you all understand is that your written work must show evidence of your academic work. And the academic work are the readings and the modules and the videos and the interactive things that we ask you to participate in as you learn about the theories that go along with teaching and learning. If there is not evidence of your academic work in your written work, then your written work primarily becomes an opinion. And while we love to have an opinion, your opinion must be supported by academic theory. You can refute an academic theory if you want to, but you've got to have some solid foundation there. You also need to talk about what happens in your classroom. You need to talk about conversations you may or may that you may have with your mentor teacher. But it's very important that you also reference the academic work and the academic readings in anything that you write, especially your discussion forums and your reflections. Please do not write a tome. You do not have to write me 4, 5, 6 pages in order for me to understand something. You want to keep your writing as succinct as possible. I usually lose interest if you write over 3 pages. I prefer not to have the work be single spaced. I would like to have the work be 1.5 to 2 spaces, and I would like for your font to be 12. It's very important that you follow these guidelines because it's not about the quantity of the writing, it is the quality of your writing. And you should be able to digest the material and write it in such a way that you get your point across with evidence in a succinct manner. It is very, very, very important that you send your observation LPA, the observation event LPA, lesson plan assistant, to me by 48 hours prior to my observation. This is the pre-observation portion of the observation. I read it through. If there's something that needs to be worked on or I can't see the logic behind something, then I get back in touch with you and I'll go like, I think that I'm not sure what you're planning on doing here, or maybe you might want to think about going about this way, or I have a resource that can actually help you even do this more efficiently. But if I get there and I'm getting your observation event the moment I walk into your room, or I get it afterwards, you put me at a disadvantage. So please make sure that I get your observation events prior to my coming so I can provide you with meaningful feedback, as this is the pre-observation. And then as I write on your observation event, I share it with you, and that becomes the post-observation if we do not have the opportunity to speak. Often, I do not have the opportunity to sit down with you for 35, 40 minutes after the observation to talk about what just happened because you're in the classroom teaching. So when you get the write-up on what I saw and suggestions I might make, this also becomes our post-observation. Sometimes people don't understand that the pre and the post can also be in written form. If we then need to continue to talk, I will usually say, it will be helpful if you and I speak later on today, or you and I need to make an appointment to talk about this further, or you can text me and say, I would like to talk to you more about this. We have to be proactive on both ends in order to make this work. Sometimes you will be asked to complete a video observation. And so you'll want to make sure that you get your permission slips in for that particular observation. And there will be a video that tells you how to go about creating the video and then annotating that observation for me. Communicate, communicate, communicate. You must communicate in order to make this work. I prefer to use ooVoo, so I would like for all of you to create an ooVoo account. I do have a Skype account, but Uvu is also free, and I can share my desktop with you when we're on Uvu, and that's very important as we have meetings, sometimes group meetings online, and I need to be able to show you whatever it is I happen to be talking about. So please make sure that you create an Uvu account. Um, Again, I say do not leave me a voicemail. Let's see. I will be using a variety of communication media with you: audio, visual, text, and email. So, and part of that is to get you accustomed to those things. So, because these are the types of tools that you can use in your own classrooms in order to communicate and create learning and teaching opportunities for your students. Um, we already talked about the video. Um, I want you to know that I will be out of town twice this January. Normally, this does not happen, but it did this year. So I will not be available in person January 10 through 13, but I will be in California. And I will also not be available in person January 19 through 22nd, and I will be out of state on the East Coast. So there will be a time difference of 3 hours. I will be, however, be available through the technology medium, so don't hesitate to contact me that way. There will be term meetings. I like to do these at the beginning of every term, and they will be at 6 p.m. on the following days. We will start with term 4, and then we will go into term 1, 2, and 3. If for some reason you were unable to make this meeting, please let me know. I'm hoping to have sent this out early enough so that those of you who have after school or work engagements can build in this window. It's really important, especially for my new students, to understand how the term flows. But for all of my students who are advancing in their terms, you need to be there so you can understand how the modules work, how we're going to coordinate our times, how we're going to deal with the assessments, and so on. There is a form here at the end that I need to have all of you fill out. Please make sure that number one, that you sign this portion and scan this back to me, which verifies that you have read this, and I need to have this by Friday, F-I-R-D, by Friday, January 11th. And I also need to know your Uvu account, and it would be helpful if you have any questions or anything that you need for me to deal with prior to the class meetings, if you just contact me and let me know. My goal is to create an environment for you to be successful and not one for you to feel as though the remoteness of this is going to make you be uncomfortable with the program itself. The program does require that you take the initiative. You must be very proactive in this program. Approaching me, approaching your site mentor, um, and making sure that when you need something that you're able to find a way to get that help. I'm your first line of defense on the Cal State Teach In, and your mentor teacher is the first line of defense on the site end. If for some reason that you're having any kind of issues on the site end with your mentor or the site or the situation, you need to contact me as soon as possible so that I can intervene if necessary or change placements if you happen to be a student teacher or a volunteer teacher. In the meantime, I hope that you found this video helpful. You'll get several other videos that are going to introduce you to each one of these links, but this is the introduction and welcome video, and I just wanted to make sure that you understand what's in the syllabus, so please read it through and get it signed and returned back as soon as possible. Thank you very, very much, and I really appreciate the fact that you've decided to either return to Cal State Teach or have chosen us as your pre-service program. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.